Okay, this will be digestive system lecture slides 5 through 10. What we're going to do with these next set of slides is just talk about the anatomy of the alimentary canal. The mouth is obviously the point of ingestion. Roof of the mouth has the hard palate, and just above the hard palate is the nasal cavity. Soft palate lies just posterior to the hard palate and borders the nasopharyngeal cavity. The uvula is that dangly thing in the back of your mouth. The uvula helps us to gauge whether or not we can swallow whatever is coming into the back of the mouth. On the floor of the mouth is made up by a muscle called the tongue. We'll talk in a little bit more detail about that in a few minutes. We have 32 teeth, or I'm sorry, 32 secondary teeth in our mouth, where we normally should. So there's 32 secondary teeth. The secondary teeth come in after our baby teeth come out, or after our primary teeth come out. In general, teeth towards the front of the mouth, those incisors, are used to tear off large pieces of whatever we're eating, and then the molars in the back and sides of the mouth are used to crush those pieces into smaller pieces. We're not going to go into a lot of depth with the actual anatomy of a tooth, just to point out a few things. Really what we're looking at is 3 layers of the tooth, but 2 main, or 2 gross areas, I should say. The crown of the tooth is everything that lies above the gum line. The root is everything below the gum line in general. The crown is really made up of the dentin and the enamel. The enamel is the hardest substance in our body. Unless you swallow a diamond, then briefly that won't be true. The third layer is the pulp. The pulp of the tooth is what holds our nerves, blood vessels, nerve supply. When you get a root canal, that pulp is what is removed. So root canal will remove that pulp area, so your tooth won't hurt anymore. The periodontal ligament holds the tooth into the either mandible or maxilla. And when you have a tooth torn out, that's the sound that you hear. Cementum is just what holds the periodontal ligament to the actual tooth surface area. Enamel does not grow back, so whatever enamel you have is all the enamel you'll get. This is a picture of a child with a secondary tooth right here, getting ready to come in and force its way into there. So the tooth has actually grown before it erupts and forces out the other teeth. The tongue is a skeletal muscle, has extrinsic muscle and intrinsic muscle. Those 2 layers of muscle are really just used to make sure, or to make the tongue so it's able to twist and turn. And we use our tongue to force food around, which we'll talk about. There's the other part of the tongue is the mucous membrane, which surrounds the tongue. The lingual frenulum is the tissue that's on the bottom of your tongue that connects it to the floor of the mouth. That lingual frenulum is full of blood vessels, so if you cut that, you know it's going to bleed a lot. Salivary glands. We're looking at 3 different sets of salivary glands. The parotid salivary glands are below and just in front of the ears, and you can actually, if you push just at the bottom of your earlobe, you can feel those salivary glands start to leak. They open into your inner cheek. Sublingual glands open below the tongue. Sometimes people can force fluid out of the sublingual glands, and it's gross. And submandibular on the floor below the base of the tongue. Salivary amylase is an enzyme that breaks down sugars, or carbohydrates, we should say. So it breaks down those carbohydrates. This is probably particularly important for survival if we needed to break down sugars quickly.